everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 32 from Healing Good PreCure. This was a slow episode, a very slow paced episode, but I still enjoyed it and I really liked how the characters acted for the most part in this episode. I thought it was enjoyable. So let's first talk about the introduction. I think this was the first time we had an introduction with the four characters. Nodoka, Chiyu, Hinata, and Asumi in the intro. Yes, we usually have an intro between Nodoka and Rabbiding. We had an intro with Nodoka and Asumi, and now, 32 episodes in, we finally have an introduction with the four main girls. Finally. But I think that I'm gonna start talking about this episode about the villains. Because we saw Shindo showing herself to King Byogen last episode, and now King Byogen wants the other two generals to do it as well. And interesting thing, he didn't even care for Shindo, which was kind of obvious. He never really cares for what she does, and he told the other two, the Risen and Guayaru, that he wanted them to become stronger, just like Shindo did, and he simply went away. He didn't even stay there to see what were they going to do? Like, he didn't. He just slipped away and he went to somewhere we don't know. We have no idea what King Byogen is doing and why he doesn't stay there with them. Even though we know now he doesn't really have a body, but that form of his, can't it stay with his generals and help them throughout the whole thing? Like giving them ideas, plans, and etc.? King Byogen, that is so strange. Who are you anyway? Please, give it to us. But this time around, it was Guayaru's turn to become stronger. He said he would do it even if King Byogen didn't tell him to, and I believe him, actually. I really believe that he would do it anyways. And I dare say, you guys know how much I am thirsty for Guayaru, but after this power up, I'm dry. Honestly, after seeing Guayaru like that, I don't even know what to say. Long hair, even buffer and bigger than before, and with that long hair, he kills me. Girl, Shindo, I'm sorry, girl. You had a beautiful form for one episode and a little bit of episode 30, but unfortunately, you're not the best anymore. Your reign didn't last that long. Guayaru took it from you. Sorry. But talking about the main setting of this episode, the whole episode happened in the Sawazumi Inn, which is Chiyu's family inn, and she works at it. She helps her family. And in this episode, the girls were going to help as well. They were going to learn how to run an inn and what they do there. Not only the girls, we had two other characters learning, and also Doji, which is Chiyu's brother. One funny thing about that was Pegitan, obviously. Pegitan sees Doji kind of as a rival, and he was wanting to follow him around to see how he was going to do. And while we saw Doji, we also saw the girls. And, I liked Hinata's participation in this episode a lot. But Nodoka's participation in this episode was so... It lacked energy. It lacked personality. I really thought that it was a little bit of a letdown. I think Asumi's participation was even better than hers. And I never think that. Never. And, the way they interacted, and one thing about Asumi. Why did they give her an old camera like that? Girl, I feel like sometimes Healing Good wants to have this retro feel to it. Lots of nature. We don't see much of technology in Healing Good. And now with that camera, I think someone is nostalgic behind the scenes in Healing Good. But it was funny, seeing Asumi go and take pictures of everybody. But it was still a digital camera because of the way that she was showing pictures to Doji after a while, right? Still, we saw all of them doing their course, and obviously Doji was having a hard time with his because he wanted to do everything very well, and he wanted to succeed like desperately, and he wasn't really thinking of the best way to do that. And Pegiton was following him around. He was watching him. He was paying attention. And Pegiton with glasses. Anyone? Best part of the episode? I love Pegiton so much. He is so cute. And it was very funny, seeing Doji go do his thing and Pegiton always there watching. And Pegiton wanted to help, but he couldn't. Obviously, he couldn't. And he found a way to help him. But before that, we saw Chiyu scolding Doji. Not actually scolding, but she was very serious, telling him that he shouldn't sigh in front of customers, and in front of customers they always should have hospitality, and they should always smile and treat them well. And it was nice seeing that side of Chiyu, because we don't usually see that. Chiyu is very strict when it comes to rules in her daily life, it seems, and it showed in this episode. It showed in that specific scene. And she didn't try to understand why Doji was feeling that way. She was only thinking of how they should act in front of the customers. And different from Chiyu, we had Pegiton's point of view. Pegiton, that was watching Chiyu's brother, decided to actually take another approach because he knew how he was feeling. And he couldn't go there and talk to him. And since Chiyu already talked to him, let's put another person to talk to Doji. And that person chosen was, the chosen person was Asumi. And I really liked that. I feel like sometimes Asumi doesn't really participate in the episodes when they're not about her. She doesn't really participate very well. Instead, they use her to make jokes because she doesn't know anything. And in this episode, it didn't happen. Her participation was natural. And I really liked their conversation, especially when it came down to one specific thing, which was, don't compare yourself to other people. You have to do your own thing. And with that, you need to get better and better at your own pace, in your own way. I really liked that, and sometimes I feel like this is something that we need to hear. We need to, we compare ourselves to other people that are more successful than us, that are more talented than us, that are more hardworking than us, that are more naturally gifted than us. Yes, we do compare ourselves a lot, and it happens. I think this is a human thing, but consciously we need to stop doing that, because we are all doing what we can, in our own lives. There's a Brazilian actress that says this in a video. She was philosophing a lot, and she says this: everybody's doing what they can do. It's not the matter of doing your best, and your best might not be the same as another person's best. And I really like this message. I really, really like this message. And Doji had something special about himself. He has this care and his emotions, different from the other people at the inn and that were working there. So that was a good point. And then we come to the fight. We have Guairu attacking a very handsome man, by the way, that was staying at the inn. Healin is bringing the daddies, and I'm loving it because next episode we're going to have a daddy as well, which is Nodoka's doctor. Girl, what was that? And he attacked him, that he became a very big monster, and the girls went to fight against him. And the fight was obviously the worst part of this episode. The monster, being a Gigabyogen, didn't feel strong enough. He felt even weaker than the Mega Byogans we were having, the buffed Mega Byogans we were having before episode 30. Because the girls were able to fight against it normally, and they didn't even need the power-up. But there was one thing that was nice that happened. We had a scene with Doji and Cure Fontaine, which was cute too. And then after that, we had a scene of Cure Fontaine. And Cure Fontaine was right in front of the monster. And Pegiton said, use the ice bottle, because why not? You always use the ice bottle for anything. And she said, okay, let's use the ice bottle. And she used the ice bottle. And so she was able to go head on against the monster by herself, with one bottle only, and with the power of that bottle only. But that wasn't it. The other girls looked at her and said, she is getting powered up because of her motivation. And so we can see in this episode that they can, get powered up, they can get stronger because of their willpower. And obviously we see that in every season, and they obviously showed it in this episode of Healing Good. So I believe this is going to happen with every girl. And unfortunately, visually, it was boring, even though she was just holding a beam against the Chikabyogin's beam, and obviously Cure Earth had to go and steal the spotlight because Cure Earth does that every time. She is the queen when it comes to power. And then she used the air bottle as well. I like the way she uses the air bottle with that air gust. It reminds me of Patamon from Digimon. It's the same attack, stronger at least. And they were able to defeat the monster. Funny thing about the power-up, we had a little bit different scenes, I think. Especially when they summoned the weapon for the first time. It feels like they're underwater. Mermaid Season 2021, incoming. I'm joking. But yeah, they used the power-up, and some people were wondering how they were going to transform since the bottles became the weapon. Here's the answer. The bottles, they become the weapon, and then they revert back to being bottles that they can use in regular fights. And so the girls were able to win, and Doji had a little, cute time, and he learned to understand himself better. And that's what he's gonna do, I feel like. And the last scene of the episode was very cute with Asumi walking and all of the healing animals going out of her costume. That was adorable. I really, really liked it. Anyways, that was my view on episode 32. Next week, we're gonna have a Nodoka episode and a doctor. Oh my god, that doctor episode. I think that it's going to be emotional. We see Nodoka crying in the preview. I think this is going to be a great episode. I cannot wait. Anyways, this was my view on episode 32. I want to take this little time to thank all of the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. Thank you so much for becoming a member, for supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye bye.